Welcome back to Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. I am, as always, Chat Show. How are you? And I'm waiting for an answer. What's that? Oh, it's fantastic. I am in New York City. This is the first coming to you from the Earwolf Studios in New York. Stop on by. We're on the 3rd floor. I'm sure everyone here would love to meet you. Tell them I sent you. There's a little bit of a security thing. Seems kind of lax, I'll be honest with you. You just need your photo ID. And tell them that there's somebody up here waiting for you. And you're kind of all set at that point. And then once you get up to the 3rd floor, ask for Jimmy, and Jimmy will walk you on down to the studios. And, any given day, any time, there's no telling who you might meet. I think I've made myself fairly well appreciated and welcomed here at the Earwolf Mid-Roll Studios. Kind of brand new digs. I know my guest today and I got off the elevator at the same time, and we're instantly lost. That was a good feeling for me personally. So I'm here in the New York on the Maisel program. A lot of you have been very kind with your wonderful wishes and questions. I'll get to your email soon, just not in this particular episode. We're shooting, we got a table read tomorrow of episode 9 of 10. Yes, we're almost done with season 2. I'm not allowed to tell you when it airs before the end of the year, but kind of around the same time that season 1 dropped. Not too dissimilar. There's all the clues I can give you. And as I've stated before, whatever your expectations are for season 2, lower them immediately, and you will not be disappointed. I've been rather relieved that season 2 has been kind of stellar and amazing and surprising, and it's a larger world. And we're all just kind of thrilled. We're still in that pinching yourself phase. Can you believe we're on this fucking thing? And so. I always joke, cut to season 5, and nobody's speaking to each other, which is, I'm guessing, where it's all going to lead. All right, so let's get to our guest today. We just met downstairs, which is also a first, where I had a guest and we met downstairs for the first time. We're coming up on 10 years in March that I've been doing this ridiculous thing. Yeah, so there's a booking agent now for me. I've been booking the thing myself since March of 2009. That is the correct response.
Yowza.
Yeah. And now there's this wonderful gal, Hannah. Do you know Hannah? Did you meet Hannah?
Big fan of the hand.
Me too.
Go way back.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe that.
Oh, yeah, she's a good egg.
And how far back do you go?
6-7 years.
Let's get into the specifics. That's my guess, Mr. Mark Anthony. Let's welcome him. It's Norman, right?
Yes, sir.
Mark Norman is a stand-up comedian whose Tonight Show set I watched in preparation for this.
Oh, you're the one.
I am, of the many.
All right. Tell that to my parents.
Yeah. They missed it?
Yeah, they miss everything.
They missed you on the Tonight Show.
Well, that's why I'm a comedian, I guess. It's a full circle.
Sure.
But yeah, they don't know what comedy is. They don't care.
They don't.
They're lawyers. They're in real estate. They're book readers.
I see.
They're intellectuals down in the bayou. They're Southern intellectuals. They kick their feet up. They have a glass of port and read some books on Ecuador. Yeah.
And this was the house you were raised in.
I got a whole, if you really want to buckle up, Kev, it's a whole backstory. I'm just going to pretend you're my therapist. You look the same. But yeah, I grew up in a mansion in a poor black neighborhood in New Orleans, and it was dilapidated, so we got it real cheap. My dad had a midlife crisis, so he bought this thing.
Midlife crisis? Where was he when he had the midlife crisis?
We were in this really small house outside the French Quarter. We lived next to the horse and buggy stable, actually.
That's correct.
Yeah. And so then he bought this house because he always wanted to be a big player. He wanted to be a rich guy.
What was he doing at that point?
He was a low-level ambulance chaser.
I'll
I
say.
guess. Yeah. And so then he bought this big house, but it had no running water, no electricity. We had like extension cords all through the house, and those mechanic lights hanging up, in your bedroom.
Please tell me you've written the script of this.
I wrote a script and almost sold it, but it was too dark. They were like, this is not good for network because it was racial tension and we got robbed a lot and yada, yada.
How about forget network? There's 460 scripted shows now.
That's true, but I got no juice and I'm a white guy.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I could flip it and I'll be trans. But yeah, so we grew up. So my parents had to turn half the house into a bed and breakfast to get some income. And so now we're eating dinner with Chinese businessmen, eating breakfast with traveling musicians, but we still got robbed a lot. And
still got robbed a lot.
Yeah, we got robbed.
Let's not walk too quickly past that.
Well, people thought, we're the white family in the mansion. They must be loaded, and we weren't.
Would they rob you when no one was home, or would they come in when you were having breakfast with Chinese businessmen?
A little of both. I walked in on a few robberies.
No, you didn't.
I did, yeah.
What was that?
Well, one time I was a young chap. I must have been like 8. And my parents were out at the grocery store or whatever, and I came down, and there was a giant guy walking around in the living room, kind of like inspecting everything. And I said, hey, what's going on? I was so naive.
Sure.
And he goes, I'm looking for your dad. And I go, oh, let me go find him. I go run upstairs going, Dad, Dad. I look out the back window. He's running through the backyard with a TV under his arm. And
the TV that you enjoyed.
Yes.
Prior to his visit.
Exactly. The black and white Zenith.
Uh-huh.
And
you probably wanted a new TV anyways.
Probably. Yeah, so did we. But I was like, oh, that's odd. And I told my parents later. My mom's like, oh, we had to call the police. I had to describe the guy to the cops. And
did you tell them it was a big guy also?
I did. I said it was a large Hasidic Jew. And no, it was a large Afro-Americane. And that was the norm. We'd come home a lot. The VCR is gone. But the worst part was I would be sleeping. We had this crazy elaborate alarm system, obviously, because my parents were like, all right, we need an alarm. And it would just go off at night. So you're like, wow, there's a guy in my house right now stealing shit. I'm upstairs in my tiny race car bed, and there's a guy taking something out of the living room.
Was the race car bed red?
I made up the race car bed. That's too cool for my parent. I tried to throw detail in to spice it up.
Uh-huh.
No, it was a shitty, garage sale bed.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. So that was childhood. I got no sleep. I was terrified. I was
The
on
alarm
edge.
would go off at night for no reason.
No, someone was there.
Oh, each time it went off. You made it sound like it went off all the time.
It did.
So somebody was breaking in all the time.
All the time. Or, you just get a lock shimmy or something. Maybe they didn't come in, but something was going down. Something was triggered.
Ow.
Much like the social justice warriors of today.
All right. And so that's a calming childhood.
Terrifying. I got my bike stolen quite a few times. But here's the clinker. We had a transgender nanny. True story. I guess you'd call him a cross-dresser back then. I don't know if she had all the parts and whatnot, but she was a black woman named Enis, and she was a burlesque dancer at night. So she had a wig on, giant linebacker of a man, wig on, high heels, mopping, and we became fast friends. And she would one time, you ready for this one? I feel like I'm hogging the mic here.
No, that's cool? What this show is.
Okay. Also, no video anymore? You got rid of the video?
Just for you.
All right, good. I'm a little hungover. So I learned street smarts because my parents were always working. There was a lot of neglect. And so I came home crying. I was coming home from camp, and the camp was a mile away. And I came home crying, and Enis is like, what happened? I was like, my bike got stolen. These kids took it off me. And they're like, he's like, get in the van. We're going to go find it. So we had keys to my dad's van. And I'm like, I'm good. They got my bike. It was embarrassing. It was like 3 17-year-old guys. I couldn't do a thing. It's gone. And he was like, get in the van. So we got in the van. Now we're circling the neighborhood looking for these street toughs, these hooligans. I'm terrified. I'm slouched in shotgun like, oh, fuck. Finally, we get to a stoop, and these guys are taking my bike apart, like a little chop shop because they can't have it looking like mine. And I go, that's my bike. Oh, my God. And he goes, stay in the car. He gets out, full wig, high heels, giant guy, basically in a mini skirt. And he's like, that's not your bike. And these kids are howling. This is the early 90s, This is like, F word, holy hell, look at this, homo, da-da-da, I can't believe it. They're going nuts. And he just grabs the bike out of the kid's hand. And these are, strapping 17, 18-year-old kids. Grabs the bike And he goes, "What are you going to do about it?" And he just stares at him, and they don't do anything. And he walks back to the van, slides that big side door open, throws the bike in, closes the door. We head home. It was unbelievable.
Most of your bike was in the van.
Yes, 80%. But,
So he was Superman to you at that point.
He was my guy. He was my role model. My male role model was a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't around.
No, of course not.
So that was pretty cool. We bonded. He taught me how to treat women and kiss and put the seat up and how to go on a date. It was because he knew women. He was a woman.
Well, how did he teach you to kiss?
Well, he just said you got to do this and put the hand behind the head. He gave me dating tips that taught me how to shave, all that stuff. He had to shave. I mean, it was very.
Was he shaving his legs while you shaved your face?
I think he might have been.
And you tried to sell this show where?
I tried. Sony almost bought it, and I tried to sell it to NBC, and they were very interested. We got up to the mile marker, and they were like, "Nah, this is crazy." Because I tried to keep it true to the real life story. One time I came home from a Mardi Gras parade. This is when we eventually moved out. It was too much. I was 14 years old. I was at a Mardi Gras parade. I came home. There was 58 cop cars, sirens, lights. And I go, all right, my parents are dead. That's it. Apparently 2 guys, broke in or knocked on the door. My dad answered the door. They put a gun in the door. My dad freaks out. They tie my parents up and they steal everything in the house. They go, where's the jewels? The whole thing. And
were there, in fact, jewels?
Jewels, rubies, treasure chest, doubloons. They got the cars. They got all the credit cards. It was a tough go.
And
after that, we're like, all right, we got to get the hell out of here.
And out of here would be out of the state of Louisiana?
A better neighborhood.
I see.
Greener pastures.
And did you leave behind, what was the mentor's name? Are
Enis.
You allowed to say?
Enis the penis.
Well,
that was the easy joke, but he's since been killed. He was in a van with a guy.
And a bike.
Well, maybe the kids who grew up later, but he was in a van with a guy who thought it was a woman, and then when he found out it wasn't, he killed him.
I see.
New Orleans is no joke. It's very lawless. It's a Wild West down there.
Still,
not like it used to be. After Katrina, things kind of cleaned up, but back in the day, whew, it was wild. It was fun. Your cab driver would have a beer between his legs. Where you going? It was a romantic, but it was terrifying.
Well, so like most kids growing up, wherever they grow up, they think it's like this everywhere.
Exactly.
And you thought the same?
Well,
did you have a sense of how unusual?
Not really, no, because we have Mardi Gras, we have Jazz Fest, we have the Sugar Bowl, we have so many crazy things.
But you're watching TV. You know what things look like in New York.
I guess. I remember seeing snow on TV and being blown away by snow. But even the suburbs, because I was I'm in my neighborhood. This is pre-internet. This is pre-driver's license, pre-everything. So all I had was TV and movies. I was obsessed with movies. Big fan. And
of movies.
Of movies that you've been in. And I'm obsessed with all that. I'm just glued to the TV. My dad would hide the TV. Some got stolen. But
is that why he was hiding it?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I didn't know anything. Even when I'd go to the suburbs to see my friends, I was like, oh my God, this is glorious. You leave your bike on the lawn, the door's unlocked, the mom's got an apron on, she's cooking. I mean, it was unbelievable to me. It was like the 50s.
Yeah, and that's when you were visiting your friends outside of the French Quarter.
Yes.
And it's this is all I keep thinking.
Sorry, I know Tony
as a member
is the next guest, so I got to bring the heat. I'm a nobody here.
First of all, you will air on different weeks.
Okay, well, I just went behind the curtain there.
That's all right.
Sorry,
I'm trying to wrap my brain as a member of the Writers Guild since 1987.
Well, help me write it. Put your name on it. Let's sell this puppy.
This is not a show or a film? Well, we're going to have to talk after the show about this in more detail because, you're letting too many gems go by here. Most people's lives are the opposite of everything you've just described.
Right.
And so how old are you when you realize that's, I mean, first of all, what are you watching on TV as a kid that can relate in any way, shape, or form to your own life? I'm going to guess nothing.
Nothing was, I was a big sitcom guy. I wanted The Outside. I wanted Family Matters and Growing Pains. These are the shows I watched that I was like, oh, look how cool this is. This is wild. These families, they're hugging.
They care about each other.
Yes.
A lot less break-ins.
Yes.
But no Enis.
No Enis. We had Enis. But I watched everything from Sanford and Son to Dick Van Dyke to Martin.
Is this all on Nick at Night? You're too young to know these shows.
We had basic cable, and after Arsenio, they would play Sanford and Son, and then after Saturday morning cartoons, I'd watch Donahue. I watched Golden Girls. I watched the news. I watched cartoons.
Phil Donahue?
Yes.
At what age?
I mean, I don't know, 7.
Why?
It was on TV. I didn't have cable. I watched everything. I soaked it all up.
So you're watching Donahue at 7 on TV, and at what point is the world of television and entertainment starting to interest you in a secret way?
Well, as a child, I had I have a, I don't know what you call it, a disorder. I can't compute math. Numbers are I'm all right brain.
So you still haven't figured out the name of this disorder? And you've had it since a kid?
It's called dyscalculia.
Sure.
But that sounds made up and fake, and I hate saying it because it sounds so cheesy. Dyscalculia. It's 2 on the nose.
Or a vampire cereal.
Yeah, exactly. That's not bad.
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia.
And what... Okay, so I'm asking a different question, and you bring up dyscalculia.
Oh, well, so school was a nightmare. Chemistry, science, math, anything in that ballpark, anything mathematical or scientific, I'm out.
And you were disassociating as opposed to letting anyone know you had a problem.
Yeah, I was just trying to get by, a lot of copying, a lot of cheating on tests, just trying to get by. I remember I bribed my math teacher in high school. I was all words. I was all dialogue, movies, ideas, stories. I loved, Chaucer and all that stuff as a kid, just because it was anything not numbers.
You don't mind if I bring you back to I bribed my math teacher.
Wow.
How old were you when you attempted this?
I think I was 17, but I had to graduate. I had to get a D to graduate. That's how bad I was.
And so break it down for me in terms of your evil plan to bribe your math teacher.
Well, I knew him pretty well. He was an ex-military guy, Mr. Tanner, terrifying guy.
So even though you were doing horribly in Mr. Tanner's class, you became friendly.
Yes.
Simply because you were funny.
Funny and just trying to relate, trying to get off the paper and go a human bond here. And he had problems with his car, and I got him some free mechanic work.
So you were bartering.
Yes.
And but at no point were you comfortable enough with Mr. Tanner to say, numbers go nutty in my head.
He wouldn't believe. He was old school. He was like, you're lying. You're just dumb.
Okay.
You're just not trying.
Did any part of you think you were dumb?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, for sure. Still have the remnants of that.
I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you did. So what is the bribe plan?
Hey, I just need that D, baby, and I'll be out of your hair.
That's not much of a bribe. What are you offering him?
Well,
you know how a bribe works.
The mechanic work.
Oh, I see.
I had friends who worked in an auto shop, and I said, hey, they can... He'd always talk about, my car's on the fritz, and I got the car fixed for him.
Right.
So I got a D.
We can take these off, by the way.
Oh, no, I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to take mine off.
All right, I'll take mine off. I hate cans.
Yeah. I just feel like we're a little more conversational now.
Sure.
Didn't you feel like you were being... the volume was strangely altered from a conversation?
Definitely.
So we've taken off our headphones, ladies and Jews. So now,
Women can be Jews.
Ladies and Jews. Well, ladies and ladies, you could say that. Doesn't work for you?
Ladies and ladies, that's redundant.
Yes, it certainly is. And the way things are today. So you go to Mr. Tanner. Mr. Tanner, you've complained an awful lot about your car. I happen to have a friend who's an ace mechanic.
Yes.
He's going to fix your car for you, but I've got to be, I got to level with you, Mr. Tanner. I'm going to need at least a D.
Yeah.
And Mr. Tanner says...
He says, I don't know, blah. And then the car, I guess, kept screwing up, and eventually was like, all right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That sounds like something you would say. I'd love to know what he actually said.
I mean, this is years ago, but he said, well, how does this going to work? And what's the story? And I said, you bring it in, we'll fix it all for you. Don't worry about it, free of charge. Because, it's a pretty penny to fix these cars. He had like an old Volvo or something that was a little foreign or something.
And who are these friends of yours that are going to fix Mr. Tanner's car for no charge? Because I don't think you're paying for it.
They wanted to help me. These were different times. This is a simpler time. I would get them a couple cases of beer. I worked at a grocery store.
You would steal the beer?
Yes.
Okay.
You do the thing where you run it down the conveyor belt, but you don't actually scan it.
I see.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they'd walk right out the door with it, and it was fine.
Okay. You were a cashier.
Yeah.
I see.
For a hot minute.
Uh-huh.
I got fired.
I can't imagine why. Okay, so Mr. Tanner gives you the D, and at what point in these school years are you thinking in terms of being a comedian?
Well, I mean, I know it's frowned upon or whatever to say, but I was a pretty big class clown in a way that I took pride in being the class. I prepared bits. I wasn't just like the class hack. I would see kids doing funny stuff in class and go, that's easy. That's a hack move. Everybody does that joke. The farting in the hands. Get out of here. But I had stuff prepared. I still remember some of my great quips.
Sure,
as a
just
youngster.
a couple.
Just a couple. One, third grade or fourth grade, we were learning expressions like famous sayings, and the teacher said, "What are you not supposed to do in glass houses?" And without missing a beat, I yelled out, "Shower! Killed! Killed!" I'm talking, 12
third
years
grade.
old here. Yeah, whatever the hell you are in third grade. So I was pretty proud of that. One time, a teacher picked, like, a girl was passing notes, and he snatched it. He confiscated it, and he read it out loud, and he could see she started crying, so he changed it he made an audible, and he said, it's a one leather whip, one ball gag. And I went, how'd you get my Christmas list? Killed! Killed!
First of all,
it was
I'm
quick.
sorry. The teacher decided to call an audible while reading a child's note because the girl was crying.
Yes.
And so he went with whip and ball gag.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was different times.
This sounds like very New Orleans.
Very New Orleans. Also, my mom was a teacher. She taught law school when when I was really young, and I was so sick one day. I'm talking 5, 6 years old, and I was obsessed with Groucho Marx. And she taught school, and she made me sit sometimes. Like if I was sick, she'd have to bring me to work, and I would just sit next to her desk, bored out of my mind, while she taught law, the most boring thing on the planet for a 6-year-old. And I got a fever, and I'm snotty, and she's like, I have to go to the Xerox machine for 10 minutes. Hold on. And I got on the desk and started doing jokes, killing.
For these law students.
For these law students. I'm talking, what does Ghost eat for dessert? Blueberry pie. Nothing's too sophisticated, but not bad for a kid.
Yeah. Let me take you back again, if I may, because you like to race the car by what I consider to be nuggets.
I feel like I'm boring everyone.
In this case, I was obsessed with Groucho Marx.
Huge influence.
In the story,
yeah,
you said you were 5 or 6 years old.
I was a young chap.
You were obsessed with Groucho Marx at 5 or 6 years old. That makes me think someone turned you on to Groucho Marx. Who would that be?
Well, my mom. Again, they're not. No one's
the boring
really,
law school teacher.
Yes, exactly. I said, Mom, I was obsessed with Bill Murray. I love Bill Murray. I was all over everything he did.
And how did that happen?
Just movies. I was all a big movie guy.
So you caught him on TV and you.
Yeah, I was really into Ghostbusters. I remember being, just like this guy. I was zoned in on Bill Murray. This guy is what I want to be. This is a cool guy to me. This is a fun dude. My dad's a dorky guy in a suit and ill-fitting, and he's a law guy and, very by the book. And Bill Murray was...
antisocial.
Yeah, antisocial, anti-establishment, funny, quick, whatever. So I loved Bill Murray. But Bill Murray is just doing Groucho when you really break it down. He's just the guy in the back of the room snickering and making jokes on this and that.
Commenting on the straight people.
Exactly. And so then I told my mom, I was like, I think I really like comedy. I was just saying, everything I watch is cartoons and The Simpsons and this and that. And she said, you like comedy? You got to go with the Marx Brothers. That's how out of touch she was.
Sure.
She couldn't get me anything current, obviously. So she got me the Marx Brothers big tape set. And I was like, this is black and white. This is going to be brutal. And I watched it. I remember being like, it was obviously boring for a kid at some points, and there's a lot of singing, which sucked. But Groucho, the lines were killer. They're still killer.
Whenever Chico decided to play the piano, you tuned out.
Yeah. But when they said, we're going to Dallas. No, we're out of Dallas, or we need more dollars. Dollars, Texas. Texas. I just love all the puns, and
Wordplay, sure.
Yeah, shot an elephant on my pajamas. How I got in my pajamas, I'll never know. I mean, to me, that blew my mind as a kid. My head went straight off, so I was into that.
Yeah. If you were any closer, you'd be standing behind me.
Yeah, we went out to Africa to shoot the women, but they weren't developed yet, so we're going back next year.
Yeah. Some of the greatest one-liners ever.
Of course. And then I got into You Bet Your Life, and that was crazy. I have 10 kids. Wow, 10 kids. Well, I love my husband. Well, I love my cigar, but I take it out every now and then.
Yeah.
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 Still good.
Sure.
I learned later that was all staged, which was a bummer.
Rehearsed and written?
Yeah.
You thought he'd made it all up?
Yeah.
Sure.
But
well, that's how good he was.
I guess so.
And at some point, you decided to try stand-up comedy yourself, and how does that go?
Well, I had such low self-esteem that...
Because of the math issue?
Well, just everything. Parental...
I don't know about everything. You're doing great at school with the one-liners. You're jumping up on the desk at law school at 5 or 6.
I mean, there's no encouragement. No one's going, keep that up.
Enis is a big fan. He's taught you how to kiss.
That's it. My only friend is a goddamn, guy in a dress.
Don't belittle Enis.
All right.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, you're right. I mean, I love the guy, but...
Clearly.
I'm obviously a weird child. I'm a little offbeat.
So no self-esteem, which is most people, and then...
Sure.
And then what?
So I never thought... I always saw Cosby, Carlin, Woody Allen. These aren't... I could never do that. Being a stand-up to me was like being an astronaut. It was just on another planet. I could never do that.
You're watching stand-up comedians on...
Well, you'd see him on Leno or Letterman. Then Comedy Central was kind of newish when I was younger. So I just watch Half Hour, Premium Blend, all these old... They would just play because they had no money.
Sure.
So they would just play on loop. Old stand-up specials, new stand-up specials. So I just soaked it all up.
Right.
And... but I never thought I could do that. But I always thought maybe I'll be a guy I'll write commercials, or I'll be like an assistant director. I always played low.
Yeah.
I shot for the ceiling fan,
Something,
not the stars.
Something doable.
Yeah.
Something within a no self-esteem bag of tricks and possibilities.
Right.
Well, listen, you were a realist at 8.
Very realist. Yeah.
Clearly.
So, maybe I'll be an actor. I'll be in plays, like community theater kind of stuff.
And what's the first thing you attempt to do?
Well, I did plays as a child. I did like summer camp acting things, and
where was the summer camp when you live in New Orleans?
Little park thing. I think at the city park had a summer camp for kids, and
it wasn't a sleepaway park.
No, I'm a Gentile, and so. Yeah, I got into acting a little bit in improv.
Only Jews went to camp?
Well, it's kind of a stereotype.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. I guess Gentiles do, too. That was a bad jump there, but...
No, it's fine.
I feel like Jews, every summer your parents go, hey, you're going to the Catskills or whatever the hell.
Right.
Yeah, but, Gentiles do it, too. So... yeah, I go off and I do these summer camps every day, and I really shine there. That's where I felt like... Because my parents sent me to this and archery and Boy Scouts and this and that. And none of it stuck. And then there's these improv-y kind of acting camps. That really...
Performing arts.
Yeah, performing art. That felt like something. It hit a nerve. So I was like, all right, maybe this is something. But then you get older and you can do school plays and you're like, I don't care about Bye Bye Birdie. This sucks. And... Who cares? And this is all just shitty and boring.
I think it's wonderful that you have actual reference points.
Oh, yeah. I was in Bye Bye Birdie. But, you got to wait around. You get one dumb line, and it's your mom's friends. And
Were you the comic relief in Bye Bye Birdie?
Yeah, usually.
Uh-huh.
But you get one line, and it's not even that funny of a line, and you're like, man, I could make this way better. So...
I could make this way better? That crosses your mind.
As a comic, yeah, as a funny person, I'm like, this is not funny. This is like, mom funny.
Well, clearly you were in grade school judging attempts at humor as being hack.
Yes. I didn't know what hack was, but you're like, oh, that's easy. That's an easy joke.
Right.
So I was still a snob then.
Okay, so after theater camp, when are you actually contemplating standing in front of a microphone and telling jokes?
Well, I'm on my 3rd college now. I've been dropped out or kicked out of colleges.
And how do you get kicked out?
Failing.
Uh-huh.
Failing out, not trying, missing classes.
Do you get a letter? Is there a person that you sit down with that says it'd be great if you weren't here?
Yeah, you get a letter. The first time they kind of sit down like, hey, we're trying to help you. You might want to stay in this. And you go, yeah, I'll be better. And then you skip another class and you fail.
How far away did you go to college?
I went to New Orleans. What do you call it? The University of New Orleans, UNO.
New Orleans.
Yeah, University of New Orleans. Failed out within like 2 semesters.
How
gone.
did you even have the grades to get into a university?
I think I was a native, so they took me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just like a proximity thing.
I thought maybe some more auto mechanic work.
No,
went to the board.
That well was dry.
I see.
So then I got into community college in Baton Rouge, which is about an hour away. And that was kind of fun because I was an hour away. I was in a new city,
Yeah.
And I failed out of that. And then I had to go to Southeastern, which is a college in, it's a real shitty school in Hammond, Louisiana. See, the cities are getting smaller and the towns are getting sadder, so it's easier to graduate. So I went to Hammond, and now I'm a waiter at a Mexican restaurant. I'm a drunk. I'm living in a house with 5 guys. We're all animals. We have a hot tub, and all we care about is partying. We built a bar, and we'd have parties, and it was all the whole thing. We'd try to get laid. So I was rudderless. I had nothing going on. So I went to film school in New York.
How old are you?
21, 21?
I mean now.
Oh, 34.
Okay.
So I went to film school in New York, and I liked it, but it didn't feel right. I was like, I'm in New York, which was amazing.
I got to stop you again.
Yeah, sorry.
So, no. Because you make a leap from we built a bar, we're trying to get laid, to I went to film school in New York.
Yes.
So you must have, during those drunken, delirious days, had a moment of clarity that said, I got to get out of here.
I did.
Much like Bill Murray in Stripes, I got to get out of here.
Exactly.
I'm going to be dead soon.
Stripes, the first half, amazing movie.
Till they get in the RV?
Yeah, come on. That was brutal.
Okay. So you leave behind the Aunt Jemima treatment, and you're thinking in terms of, I want to go to film school.
Well, I needed an out. I needed something, and New York was just so...
Did you see a newspaper ad? It's so specific.
Sorry. Well, when I was a kid, my parents and I went to New York as just like a vacation.
Sure.
It blew my mind. It was amazing. Like, this is it. This is the place to live. Again, I was like, I could never live there. But with the cushion of film school, they help you out a little bit. You have somewhere to go. I said, fuck it, let's try it. My parents were at wit's end, just like, you're a piece of garbage. I mean, in and out of the drunk tank. I got arrested a lot. We were stealing kegs, because if you steal 3 keg shells and give them to the store, they'll give you a full keg. So we would just drive around and steal kegs.
Now, I don't think the store is set up if you steal 3 keg.
If you deliver them 3 kegs.
I see.
Empty shells. So that we get into fist fights. We're jumping in backyards, stealing keg shells. I mean, life was bleak. And so I needed to get out, and I applied to New York Film Academy, which is a bit of a racket. I don't know if it's still open. Fuck that place. But I went there, and I was like amongst other artsy folk, and nobody was putting me in a headlock anymore, and it was fun.
Where'd you get the dough?
I saved it. It wasn't too expensive. Plus, I lived in a halfway house with a bunch of I was meeting a bunch of Indian guys.
I mean, it's pretty ambitious, if I may, when you're in that drunken brawl and in and out of drunk tanks and whatnot, to not only apply to this school, but it's a giant life shift.
It was a huge life shift.
Yeah, and you did it all on your own.
Well, my parents helped.
Right, but they only helped because you actually had a path in mind.
Sure.
And you had to follow through with all of this.
Yes.
This is a giant life shift.
Big shift.
Whether you want to accept it or not.
But I needed it.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
But it sounds to me that you made that decision on your own, that you may have gotten their support immediately because they were certainly a fan of you doing anything other than what you were doing.
Yes.
But you still had to make the decision, which could have just been another hungover day saying, I got to stop doing this. But then the follow-through it's extraordinary.
Oh, well,
if
thanks.
I may. You know it is. You come to
wow.
New York, it's a very fucking scary town.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know anybody.
But I was so young, I was naive. I didn't realize how crazy it was.
Yeah. Your parents help you find the halfway house to live in?
No.
Did that on your own?
Did all that, yeah.
So
phone book, the whole thing.
Yeah. So you end up in this film school. You instantly know it's a scam.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have a class where they taught you how to use a camera, and there was one camera for 30 kids. They're all leaning over each other, you know. Mm-hmm. It was a racket, but I enjoyed it because I just wanted to be Woody Allen back then. And, I just wanted to be a director kind of guy. But then you realize, you got to deal with actors. You got to write this thing. You got to get a gaffer in there. You got to get a grip and all that. And I was like, this is too much. Yeah. So I started doing sets at night.
You went to a comedy club.
I went to open mics. Mm-hmm. And of course, bombing. But I remember you go to film school all day, then you go to open mic at night. And I was like, this is it. And I would write all day. I should have been writing scripts and short stories, but I was writing jokes. And that was it. I was like, this is it. And it was under my nose the whole time. Groucho, standing on my mom's desk in law school, class clown. It was under my nose the whole time, and I never knew it.
Yeah.
Because it was too far off. I could never be that. I could never be David Brenner.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
So you're writing during the day. You're doing sets at night. You're starting to meet other comedians.
Yes.
Some of them you mentioned as we sat down have scrawled their names on this desk, which is the long-standing Airwolf tradition.
Yes.
All the guests write their name on the desk there. You're starting out with a lot of these people. Name a few of them.
Well, just off the desk or in general?
In general.
Oh, I started with a guy named Mike Lawrence, who is now writing on Crashing and a hilarious comic. I started out with Sean Patton. He's a super funny comic. Sam Morrill, who's killing it. He's got an hour special coming out this year. So all these guys, a lot of guys, fade off and you never see them again. They just kind of wear away. You're out with them every night and they just kind of sift off into the ether and they're gone. They start having kids and they get a real job and get insurance. I don't have health insurance still. So it takes a weird, resilient, scruffy dog to keep going through this swamp of we call comedy.
And what keeps you in the game, do you think?
I love it. I like I'm built for it mentally because I have zero self-esteem. I can't do anything else. And I'm not tough, but I'm a mangy sewer rat who can just, I live in the filth. I feel like I'm comfortable here.
Yeah. So, and when you're on stage and feel that sense of control and power.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I came from this intellectual family. My brother's like a certified genius. He skipped his senior year of high school to go straight to college. He joined the Peace Corps. Now he works at this computer thing, and he's brilliant, and 2 kids and a wife and all that. And I tell dick jokes in a basement to drunks. Uh-huh. So like I have to keep up in a weird way, and I just want them to listen to me. So the idea of a group of strangers paying to hear your kooky thoughts and laughing in agreement and enjoying it, that I need it.
Right.
It's beyond fun. I just love it and I need it, and it's a special thing. Comedy's so much harder. Everybody loves Hamilton. Hamilton's cool, but comedy's harder. I'm sorry, Aaron Burr. Stand-up is much harder.
Are you, in fact, apologizing to Aaron Burr?
Well,
I feel like he had so little to do with the musical Hamilton.
The guy, what's his name? And it's not that it's not impressive, but he had months to write that. He could sit down. He could work it out. He has other brilliant people.
We don't need to tear him down in order to specify in something I agree with 100%, which is no one has any idea how hard and what little sort of respect the art form of stand-up comedy gets.
But again, it's good that it's hard because it weeds out the...
the people you were talking about earlier who drifted away.
Yeah, the wannabes and the people who don't need stand-up shouldn't be doing stand-up. Right. You should need it to do it.
I directed a documentary you should probably watch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, what's it
it's
called?
on Amazon.
I might have seen it.
It's called Misery Loves Comedy. And it's Talking Heads documentary where I talk to almost 60 annoyingly famous funny people with the premise you have to be miserable to be funny.
Is it black and white?
Nope.
I think I saw this on a plane.
The plane monitor wasn't working well, so it seemed black and white?
Maybe.
Yeah. But the idea was that I would talk to comedians and ask them and try to find similar guidelines about certain chapters and aspects of being and trying and staying and doing.
Yes.
And also along the way, trying for the viewer to really demonstrate how if you're not willing to give your life over to it, you almost have no chance. And even
Yeah.
when you give your life over to it, you still have almost no chance.
Yeah.
The odds are stacked up against you like no other profession. You know, acting, you'll go on auditions and you get rejection. But you don't get rejection to your face.
Right.
When you're in the room auditioning, when you finish, no matter how great or horrible you were, the response is the same.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And then you leave.
Yeah.
Whereas on stage, in front of strangers, in the dark, there's silence. Where
Yes.
you thought, we're convinced this will kill.
Exactly. And the audition, that's not even your material.
That's right.
This is my shit that I wrote that I bled, sweat, and pined over for hours in my bedroom. I'm killing in my bedroom, by the way. And then you go out there. And I'm not saying, I hate these comics who go up and they're bombing and they're like, fuck you guys, you don't get it. And like, no, you still have to kill. You still have to entertain. I hate these comics who just want to get blown immediately, you know? I like that it's real. That, like Colin Quinn said, it's the closest thing to justice, you know, because even if you're Jack Nicholson, he says, you still got to go up and be funny.
Right.
And I like that part of it. I like the realness of it, but it is fucking hard.
Yeah. And when do you feel like you've got enough material in the right order and the right presentation to audition for The Tonight Show?
Well, I've been about 12 years in. So I did The Tonight Show before, I did it about a year ago. So I felt ready. It's just a matter of them coming to you. And
Well, you'd been around, at this point, your home court is what?
Comedy Cellar.
Okay. And so you'd been around enough times at the Comedy Cellar to see other people be tapped
Yes.
for various late night shows.
Yeah.
You know who the bookers are. You know what these gatekeepers are looking for.
I should say I've done Conan 5 times at this point before that Tonight Show and Colbert. So I was no stranger to late night.
Right.
But the Tonight Show is obviously the pinnacle.
Well, let's just go to the first talk show appearance.
All right. That was Conan 2013, February 20th.
Do you remember the date?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, you just said it.
I just said it.
And how many times was it still Smiley, the booker, the second producer?
JP was Conan, JP Buck.
Okay.
He's still doing it today.
And were these gatekeepers from Conan or wherever, again, people that you had seen tap other comedians, people you knew?
Yep.
And is there a conversation first? Hey, I think you might be ready. I'm going to watch your set.
No, nothing. I was just so desperate. I was clawing at nothing. I had nothing going on in my career, just open mic and bar shows here and there, maybe a club spot if I got lucky. But I felt like I had a killer 12 minutes. So I just sent them the whole thing on a whim, never heard anything back. So I asked my manager, you know, my ragtag manager in an office with a landline, you know, going, we got something in Jersey. That guy, he sent it in. He sent a link. And once the manager sent it in, he watched and he goes, this is pretty good. We can work with this. And just even getting a response from the booker of Conan was mind-blowing. I mean,
Right.
It was a game changer. I was like, oh, my God, people know I exist.
Right.
And then we worked on the set, and he's like, I need a new tape. Here's the order. I got it to him like the next night, sent that back in. He could tell I was serious about it. We worked it out. He gave me a date 6 months later, but I was fine with it. And I ran that fucking set every day till that point, and I tell you, Kevin, I nailed it.
You killed.
I haven't had a showbiz moment like that. It was a storybook, fairy tale.
Well, let's walk me through it if you don't mind.
All right.
So what do you do to pick out the outfit?
Sadly, I didn't think much about the outfit.
Good. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm a comic. I have no style. I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans. I don't know what the hell to
Pit
wear.
stain T-shirt. Let's be more specific.
Is it? Ah, shit. Sorry. That's embarrassing.
It just means it's a favorite T-shirt of yours.
I love this shirt.
It says New Orleans.
hometown.
Tippingtons.
Tipitinas. It's kind of our CBGB.
All righty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's holding a banana.
Yeah, it's a big rock club.
Great. And you opened up for bands there.
No, I would love to. I wish I had.
Oh, you just went to see shows there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What's the round counter or shoehorn? Or
Carousel bar?
Horseshoe counter diner. I want to say red
Camellia Grill?
red slipper something.
Oh, Ruby Slipper.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love that place.
All right, look at you.
Yeah, I'm allegedly directing a movie either the end of the year or in January in New Orleans.
Oh, great.
And I'm hoping maybe to use that damn diner. I should remember the name.
Yeah, well, I'll give you some great spots if you want some Ricks.
Yeah, I do. And I know where to get, I believe, a couple of cases of beer. I know where to have some car work done. So forget the outfit, but you got the date, you run the slot, and do you bring someone with you when you have your first
I brought my girlfriend at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a big deal for the both. We're both poor New Orleans. We moved up to New York together. We have nothing going on. She's freelance. We're both poor. This is a huge deal. Flight to L.A., Hilton Hotel. The whole thing's bananas.
Oh, he'd already moved to L.A., right, of course. So all the groundwork was done in New York, though,
Yeah.
and they decide they're going to fly both of you to Los Angeles.
Just her, but we got just me, but we got the funds together.
Okay.
We made a big trip out of it.
Yeah. And had you been to L.A. before?
I had here and there doing a couple bar shows and checking it out, but never for TV.
Right. And had you stayed on somebody's couch at that
A lot
point?
of couches.
Yeah. So now you're in a hotel because you mentioned the Sheraton.
Hilton.
Hilton, sorry.
Yeah. Hilton in Studio City.
Okay.
Universal Studios, Hilton.
Uh-huh. And every part of that is exciting.
Oh, man. Come on. They get you a car from the airport. It's banana. I mean, the whole thing
You feel like you're in show business.
Yes, and it feels damn good.
The moment you get off the plane, there's somebody waiting with your name on a piece of paper.
Yeah, and I don't think I didn't take a photo of that. It was Mike Norman, but close enough.
Did it really say Mike Norman?
I think it did, yeah.
Or Mickey Norman?
Yeah, Matt.
Sure. So you get in the car, you feel like you're in show business. You and the girl are looking in the back of the car for some booze.
Yeah. And you feel like a guy. Like, look at me with my gal here. You feel like you want to, hey, how about this, honey, huh? We were like the Beverly Hillbillies up there, you know?
You really were.
Yeah.
You were the Nolans Hillbillies.
Yes,
and
completely.
So you get to the hotel, you check in. The set is the next day.
Yeah.
So how do you get to sleep that night?
I'm a big sleeping pill guy. I got crazy anxiety, insomnia. I have to drug myself.
Thanks for sharing. And so there's no problem. You brought your doses.
Yep.
You're out. And how do you spend the day prior to the set?
We spend the day, we get there pretty early because, you get that 3-hour time jump. So we just hit the pool like a couple of white trash people, and we're in the pool yucking it up. I get a nice glow, but the whole time you're splishing and splashing, you're just thinking, okay, car, family, television, bagel, Puerto Rico. You're just going over the set in your head. You're pretending like you're a human being, but you're actually freaking out the whole time and trying to,
The bullet point words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing that the whole day, and I'm in the shower going, all right, Mercedes, swivel chair, showering. But I'm panicking the whole day, but this is pre-therapy. I'm a big therapy advocate now. This is pre-therapy. So I didn't know about anxiety. I didn't know. I was just like trying to focus. And I get that weird thing where my brain and personality starts eating at me. Like, you're going to bomb. You're going to suck. You're a piece of garbage. No one likes you. And I have to go, shut up. Fuck you. Blow me. But, yeah, I was still working with that then.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, that's it. It's mad. Give it a watch later. No pressure. But it really came together, and I was not too nervous.
February 20th, 2013?
You got it.
It's interesting for a guy who's not that good with numbers that certain numbers did stick in there.
Yes.
It's also interesting to me that you tell your subconscious thoughts to blow you. I like that.
It's me.
Yeah.
I'm blowing myself.
Well, you're certainly suggesting it.
Yeah, sure. I guess, am I gay? It's a guy on guy.
Well, I think it's more masturbatory than it is the desire to be with another man.
Yes.
Other than Enis. Okay, so you drive yourself a little nutty.
Yeah.
The time comes. You're in. You go to the car, picks you up from the Hilton.
Yep.
Takes you to Warner Brothers, the lot where Conan's been doing his show since he moved to L.A. Mm-hmm. There's the drive-through, the gate.
Oh, the whole thing is riveting.
Yeah. You go to the sound stage. There's somebody waiting for you. They walk you into a dressing room.
Oh, yeah.
And does Conan stop by beforehand?
He did not, and I thought he would, and that stung a little, but hey, I got no complaints. Also, sorry.
I think the tradition with him, as it was handed down from Carson through Letterman, was there's no chit-chat before the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I've heard other people
You did
had
5 times on Conan.
I've done 6 now, but that was the first.
Okay. And has he dropped in the dressing room since?
No.
Are you starting to see the pattern?
I guess so, but I've seen him shake other hands
Uh-huh.
with the bigger names, but I guess that's a celebrity. Maybe they know each other.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. But I'm just the lowly comedian. I know what I'm in, I'm out, 5 minutes, tell my yuck 'em ups, and I go home.
Yeah, but you're also a dream for a guy like Conan who hosts the show daily and wants every comedian to kill.
Yeah.
Look, someone has worked very hard for the show to find the right talent, and all I'm counting on is for that talent to show up and kill.
Yeah.
So you go out, and the Mercedes and the swivel chair, one by one, each one of these bits kills.
Yes. I'm talking a couple applause breaks. It was magic.
Could
Pollak.
not have gone better.
Could not have gone better.
At any point during it, do you look back towards Conan?
No, I was too scared to even move or swivel or look around or anything.
Sure. And you're about 5'10"?
Yeah, 5'10", 5'11".
Okay.
Good call.
He's 6'5".
Yep.
So when he comes over to shake your hand, which I'm assuming he does because you killed so much.
Monstrous man. Mountain of a man.
It's startling.
Yes.
How tall he actually is.
Uh-huh.
When I found it because I'm considerably shorter than you. It's I remember because I did the show many times, and I had sort of orchestrated things so that I would only go to the panel, and I waited my first Tonight Show to do the panel until they had a movie or a TV show. It's a long story, but so I'd only done panels. So to the point where Conan was so large,
Yeah.
I would say to him backstage, when I come out, is there any way for you not to stand up? I know it seems disingenuous.
No, I get it.
But could you please just stay seated?
Yeah.
And it'll be our joke. He said, no, I have to stand up to greet you. I can't stay at the desk. It's the rudest thing in the world. And I could not have felt smaller. So he comes over to shake your hand, and they go to commercial, and it's just over. People need to know that.
Yes.
The niceties, the glory, in standing on that stage, the little star where one of your shoes is covering.
Yep.
Lights go down. They're away to commercial break. The band is playing, and then the band stops, and they really need you to get the fuck off the stage.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
It's the shuffle off to Buffalo, and away you go.
Yeah.
So you go backstage, and there's the girlfriend. She's screaming. She's kissing all over you.
I'm glowing.
She
I'm
can't
floating.
believe how well it went.
Yeah.
PJ or JP is glad handing the fuck out of you.
Yep.
He's so happy.
He took a shot on me and it worked. So he's happy.
Yes.
I'm a nobody. He's never heard of me before. And
We're
then
going to have you
clicked.
back right away, he says.
I've been back every year since.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you a couple things.
Please.
One, I remember thinking, because I did crowd work. That's how confident I was in the middle of my set. I was killing so hard. I said something like, Puerto Ricans, and this group went, woo! And I went, all right, too many. Killed. It was just, I was in the zone, Kev. I'm talking to nobody. It's just zinging and zanging. And I remember my butt was spasming because I was so keyed up. My butt muscles were just convulsing. And I just had to be like, take it easy. You're doing great. Don't screw it up. And at one point, I actually go, I can't believe how well I'm doing, or something like that.
You said that on live television
And
during your first Conan appearance.
I said that in my head, but I remember being like, I was getting an applause. I remember the crowd, the people listening can't see this, but I remember being like, I gave like a shrug, like, wow, this is crazy. And then Conan comes over after I had a good set, and he shakes my hand, and I was so cocky and confident. I take his tie, and I dab my forehead with it.
No, you didn't.
I swear to God, watch it. It's all there. I'll send you a photo of it. Somebody took a photo of the TV, and he died laughing, and I was like, I was just being. People were like, why would you do that? I was like, I was just trying to be more funny.
You felt like Groucho Marx.
It was a Groucho moment completely.
Yes.
All came around, and I got off stage, and it just I couldn't even feel the floor. I was floating, and I've done Conan since then, and never felt the same. It was never that magic again, but I'll always have that. And then when it aired, and the love, the text messages, the phone calls, the social media, I mean, it was
everything you'd worked on.
Yes, coming together. And that people say, why do you do so many late nights? I've done 9 now. And they say, why do you do so many? I go, because of that. It's a little appreciation for all the work.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful piece, 5 minutes that you put together, opener, closer, callback. It's a special thing. It's kind of a dying art, I think.
Putting together a talk show set.
Yes, I remember watching Seinfeld's. I've gone through YouTube, watched them all throughout the 80s and the 90s, him just becoming a better comic, and Brian Regan
Yeah.
And all these people just doing killer late night sets. And, you know, we talk about doing they got to do a special every year, got to do an hour every year. Nah, just do 5 minutes. It's fun. It's a nice little piece for people to see. An hour should be special. Do that every 10 years. But this is a Tonight Show. It's quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have a weird thing with late night sets. And
your last one on the Tonight Show was?
June 18th.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the one that I saw.
Uh-huh.
And Jimmy Fallon came over afterwards and did a bowing motion.
Yeah.
He didn't just shake your hand. He did a bowing motion.
Yeah, he was really into this one. I did it once before, and it went pretty well. But this one, I feel like I really nailed it, and he was way nicer. He came in the green room and was yucking it up. He told me stories, and we hung out for like a half hour.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's pretty great.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
He's a good egg. He's a nice guy.
And so you've got new representations between the fly-by-night guy who looked at that first shot.
Yeah.
And you've got a sense of where your next step is, where do you go from here?
I'm trying to sell a show. I mean, it's crazy. I've done this Tonight Show, and it really hit. People really liked it, but that's it. No, that doesn't make a dent or anything.
Right.
That's what's tough.
No, it's certainly not like when I started out.
Right.
When an appearance overnight, something happened.
Yeah.
And for me, the best compliment I would get by far with being on Tonight Show with Carson.
Yeah. Wow.
Was Johnny really likes you. No one commented on a set. No one commented on a bit. And again, it was all panel, but my heroes were Albert Brooks and Steve Martin and Don Rickles, these guys who did their act from the couch.
Yeah.
In the guise of a conversation. So even though I was doing bits and impressions and all my bag of tricks, the best compliment was always, Johnny really likes you.
That's all encompassing. That means he liked the set, he liked the jokes, he liked you, he liked the persona.
Yeah.
He's comfortable, yeah.
So are you getting your couch material ready? Because that's the next thing.
I've got it. I would love to do panel. I feel like the panel really, it connects more. It's conversational. It's natural.
Yeah.
I would love to do panel, but I got to promote something, I guess.
That's right.
I don't have anything to promote.
It'll happen.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's what's up with this business, because you just got to keep moving forward, because everything you just always feel like, I'm not where I should be. I haven't made it yet. Who am I? I'm nobody. So.
Well, here's good news for you. That never ends.
But you're on Mrs. Maisel. You've been in
no matter what you accomplish,
Oscar.
No matter where you go in your future, that feeling
is that right?
Never ends.
You don't think Tom Cruise is going, all right?
I know for a fact he isn't.
Come on.
Nope.
He's a gigantic.
By the way,
star.
have you seen his latest film? So the big thing is that he did all his own practical stunts.
Oh,
He's
the Mission
56 years old.
Yeah, he looks amazing.
And it's important to him to do his own stunts.
That's a good point.
Because he loves it.
Yeah.
You know how much you loved and still do putting those sets together?
Yes.
That's all you need to focus on.
All right, I appreciate
That's all
that.
you need to think about.
And I'm aware I'm lucky to get to do it.
No.
I'm a very gracious this is my life. I live in New York. I own my apartment in the West Village. I'm doing the Tonight Show and stand up regularly.
It sounded like you said, I own my apartment in the West Village.
I just bought my apartment.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I own a piece of the rock.
My friend, that is an enormous success. May I take you back to the beginning of this conversation when you were in a Hubble falling place, dilapidated was your own, term for the home that your father's dream house.
Yeah.
After he had established himself, right?
Yes.
You just bought your own apartment in the West Village. So, and right before that, you said, I don't feel any sense of success, is what I was hearing.
Yeah. Well, you always put yourself. I have friends who are just. They're on their third sitcom. They're in a movie.
Good for them.
Shaking hands with Tom Hanks and this and that.
Yeah.
Which you've done. But
I just looked through the window and Tony Shalhoub gave this sign. The international sign for that means nothing.
He's not listening to this, is he?
Oh, of course he is.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Jesus. Tony, big fan. All right. You guys both play Jews very well.
And only one of us is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. I'm afraid that our time has come to an end.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm already a huge fan.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's mutual.
And thank you so much for doing the show. And congratulations on killing on late night talk shows. And I threatened early in the conversation that your real life story is too rich and incredible to have not been set up somewhere.
We'll get it done.
So
Louis C.K. was interested, but look what happened there.
Well, he'll come back as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's no stopping talent.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing to remember.
Genius.
Yeah,
I used to open for him.
Yeah, he's still genius. I mean, I could do an hour on how important he is to what we do.
I agree.
And to the future of what we do.
Yep.
And I can't wait for, I'm guessing, little less than a year. I've not spoken to him about this. This is all predictive. Little less than a year, he'll do an hour special about his entire journey through hell and back.
Yeah.
And it will be undeniably funny, so much so that everything else will just fall away.
I completely agree. I don't get the whole, this guy did a bad thing, so he sucks. But you can't deny the work.
Perverts go to therapy.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Right.
Let's not put them in the same envelope as pedophiles and rapists.
Thank you. And I don't get the whole, we're all very supportive of transgender people, you man to woman. Why can't we support pervert to better man?
Yeah.
That's just another transition. Why can't we get on board with that? You know what I mean?
And on that note,
I support both. I'm open-minded. I'm more open-minded than you.
That's right, Mark Norman. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Honestly and truly.
Honor.
And we all look greatly forward to the next part of the journey for you.
Thanks.
Sit there uncomfortably while I wrap things up for the folks at home, won't you?
I'm going to sign the table.
Yeah. Sign the table. Folks, that's Mark Norman. You can check him out at, I'm sure there's a website.
MarkNormanComedy.com.
There
I
it
dates
is.
every weekend. I'm on the road.
Yeah. Check him out. Go see him live. Go to the YouTube and watch the various, or Conan's website to watch the various appearances there. The Tonight Show he killed just a month or so ago. There's no stopping Mr. Mark Norman, and it was a thrill to have him on the show, having just met 90 minutes ago.
Yes, here.
I want to thank Casey, our engineer to the stars, and all the fine folks here at the New York offices of Earwolf. Until next time, and as always, get out of my face.